Good morning, everyone. See, I'm getting on today. I'm really coming down home stretch on my product, so I'm kind of sad, I'll be honest with you. It has been really a good learning experience for me to dig into these products. Now, today's product I don't personally use, but I think I'm gonna be ordering this. I'll tell you, when I started looking at this product and the ingredients, 3 simple ingredients, I wasn't impressed. Until I really started digging deeper into these. And again, it shouldn't have surprised me, right? Plexus just combines things so brilliantly that it makes so much sense on so many different levels. And when I started like putting those pieces together and forming that bigger picture, I'm wowed. Okay, so this product is an energy product. And I do feel, as Americans, probably as a whole world this year, we're in an energy crisis. We're stressed. We are overwhelmed with our lives, just our normal lives, without being 2020, right? But we're not going to get into that part of it. But here's the deal. We're in an energy crisis, okay? So 85% of Americans say they wake up tired. A third of adults say that they don't have enough energy to even get through the stuff they need to on a daily basis. And then over half of Americans say they feel sluggish during the day. They want a nap, okay? They want a nap and they need a nap. So we know that the energy drink market is insane. It has just skyrocketed, but we also know with these energy drinks that are out there, and we're talking like almost a $10 billion market annually in this country alone. But they add sugar, and if it's not normal sugar, regular sugar, it's artificial sweetener, and they're no better for us. We already know that, right? So that creates a whole list of other problems, and I'm just going to already assume you know that. So I won't get into why you shouldn't be drinking those, but you should not be drinking those. But here's the deal. 90% of us caffeinate on a daily basis, and that there's nothing wrong with that. But I want to tell you and talk to you about why this is a better alternative for you if you are one that has to caffeinate like all day long into the afternoon or even early evening if you're needing it for the energy, okay? So again, 3 simple ingredients. We're talking about Edge. We're talking about Edge today. 3 very simple ingredients. But again, I am going to get into the nuts and bolts and explain to you why this is so brilliantly paired together. Okay, so the first ingredient, L-theanine. Now, L-theanine is an amino acid, and it is sourced from green tea leaves in this product. It affects our dopamine and our GABA receptor sites, the neurotransmitters in our brain. So when we have increased dopamine levels, that helps us with stress management. It helps with our mood. It helps with our energy and our focus. It actually has been clinically proven to improve test performance. So it's not going to give us the jitters, and it's gonna have a more like a calming effect, so you don't have the scatteredness, even though you will, notice that you're having less stress, less anxiety, this type of thing. Okay, so good for long-term use, and you don't need to take breaks on this because it does not cause adrenal fatigue like some other things can. Okay, second ingredient, theocrine. Okay, so L-theanine, theocrine. Theocrine is chemically very similar to caffeine, but it acts in a very different manner. Okay, this is sourced from a kucha tea leaf. And again, because it affects our dopamine levels, it again is gonna be good for mood, stress, irritability, motivation, the things we just talked about that dopamine does for us and should be doing for us, okay? So we don't have a tolerance to the theocrine like we do caffeine. We know caffeine you build tolerance to. The theocrine we do not. So when it's paired with caffeine, then we get the good effect of that not happening, okay? So they work synergistically together. They work better together. And also, this theocrine can reverse chronic damage done from stress when it's used in a 7-day period. as short as 7 days, we see the damage from stress being removed, being reversed. So that's pretty cool. So now when I talk about caffeine, of course, our 30 ingredient is caffeine. It's a naturally sourced caffeine rather than synthetic. And that is something I've talked about before, because the caffeine that is in Plexus's other products is also naturally sourced, not synthetic. And there's a difference, okay? So the caffeine on the label, if you have something and it doesn't tell you anything other than caffeine, that's synthetic. If it gives you the source, like it does here, it's from Cafe Robusta. Now what that is, it's a coffee bean that basically hasn't been roasted, so it's still green. It's in a green state. And that is a good deal for us because it doubles the antioxidant potential in that coffee bean. First of all, it's going to be higher in chlorogenic acid. And again, that's something we've talked about because it's in the Slim as well, our Slim pink drink. So it helps with appetite control. Yay. Who doesn't want that, right? Now, this source of caffeine, its half-life is about 4 hours, but it's absorbed within 45 minutes. So we see those effects, and it's got 90 milligrams of caffeine in this product, which is equivalent to about a cup of coffee. Okay. So not a huge amount. Now we've talked about the dopamine. Adenosine is another receptor site that this messes with, okay? But it messes with it in a really good way. So the dopamine, as we age, we have less dopamine on board. So our body's producing less by about 6 to 7% per decade, okay? So again, this theacrine messes with that. The L-theanine messes with that dopamine in some respect, and the theacrine also is gonna mess with this adenosine system, this whole pathway, okay? So what happens with the adenosine? Okay, let me back up just a little. Okay, so as our day goes on, okay, you get up in the morning on a perfect day, you should wake up feeling refreshed, right? So you have less adenosine on board. Okay, so adenosine is causing like fatigue, sleepiness, relaxation. Let's just put relaxation. So as your day goes on, you have more adenosine bound up in your system in those receptor sites that's causing that relaxation, helping you wind down for the day, okay? But here's the deal. Caffeine competes with this receptor site, okay? So again, if we have caffeine in the morning, we all start here, right? 1 cup of coffee. I feel much better. You should, okay? It's going to compete with that adenosine site. You're going to feel stimulated in the morning because that's what caffeine is. It's a stimulant. But what happens, caffeine, we build tolerance to. What went from this, now I need this. Maybe I need them both, okay? And if you're dragging that out throughout the day and needing that caffeine load as the day goes on, then that adenosine is not binding to those sites because they're already filled with caffeine, right? So then we're not winding down like we should towards the end of the day. And then what happens is when that caffeine is metabolized out of those receptor sites, we've got all this free adenosine floating around, and boom, we crash. We crash from that caffeine, and then that adenosine binds and we are relaxed, are we not? That's called a crash. So what happens if we are doing this continually? We're on a roller coaster. We're waking up fatigued. Didn't we talk about that? People waking up fatigued. 85% of Americans say they wake up tired. Yes, they do wake up tired because they have not wound down properly that our bodies are meant to do. We are stimulating it to stay awake, and then we are crashing it. Does that make sense? So that's why this is so brilliant, because the theacrine, even though it's chemically similar to caffeine, we don't get that crash when that happens. So it's messing with it in a good way. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so that is the deal with that caffeine competes for that receptor. But when we're taking this edge, then we are not going to crash from that caffeine because it's paired well together in this product. Now let's talk about who should take this. Well, are you a shift worker? Are you a student? We already said it increases test scores, right? It increases our focus and our concentration. How about someone with ADD or ADHD? We know that many facets of that disease are gut related, and they have to do with blood sugar stabilization. And that's why, again, our pink drink helps with that. But if you're still needing more, this Edge would be a great addition to your regimen, okay? How about an athlete? Pre-workout, excellent as a pre-workout, okay? How about a parent? How about anyone living in this country? If you are one of those who is messed up on your sleep cycles and your day cycles and having not enough energy to get through the day, not enough mojo to make it, this is a great addition. How do we take this? One a day. One a day. Now you can take up to 2 if you need to, but I really don't see that as being a long-term thing, okay? Now, it's a clean product. It's naturally sourced, cleanly sourced. It can be taken anytime. So again, this is just depending on when you are needing that edge, that boost in your energy, right? That edge. Okay, so you don't want to be taking this with some of the other products that do have caffeine in it, like the MetaBurn. And if you need to review that, I made a video on that as well. The Accelerator, I'm doing that next week, or Active, and that's a drink, an energy drink, our form of an energy drink. Okay, so I shouldn't say you can't take them together, but you really need to be reflecting how much caffeine you've had, because we ought to only be taking in 400 milligrams a day. All right. So again, the effects are within about 30 to 45 minutes. You should take this with food. You should eat with this. Carbs and fats especially, because it's going to help it metabolize better and it's going to help it work more efficiently. Okay. It needs to be taken for more than a few days for best results. You may get the jitters when you start out on this. You need to let your body adjust. You need to give it at least a week or two, honestly. Okay, it's 100% vegetarian. It is gluten-free. It is non-GMO. It is safe for long-term use because we don't get that adrenal fatigue. Okay, does that make sense? Now again, if slim, okay, blood sugar control, your friend that signed you up said, hey, you're gonna have more energy when you get on the triplex. That's true, but if it's still not enough, then it's probably an adenosine issue more so than a blood sugar issue for you. So again, you need to be taking this a little bit longer, okay? So that is my presentation on this. Now this was like a lot of information, I get that. So if you have questions, please put them in the comments. Please reach out to whoever sent you this video or let me know, okay? We're always here to answer questions and tailor what you need for your body to get through your day and to make you the best you, to show up, okay? So have a great day. And again, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have a good one.